The old man in the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Who is this strange character that we meet? Certainly the Zelda series is no stranger to wise old owls, men, starting off your adventure. After all, the first two Zelda games featured this, and Nintendo did state that they will reuse a lot of elements from the first Zelda game. Remember the draft in Zelda 1? Here it is being used again in Breath of the Wild. But the old man in this game isn't just your ordinary creepy man that you'll find hiding in a cave. The old man in Zelda 1 gave you your sword, and in Zelda 2, gave you new spells to learn. While certainly, I do believe that this old man in Breath of the Wild is a big contributor to the game's storyline and plot. With all that said, there are countless theories on what role or who this strange man is, but today, I will go through the most evidential theories. The first theory is that this strange man is the King of Hyrule. Now, just because he looks very similar to King Daphnes from Wind Waker does not mean much. He could very well be the King of Hyrule in any timeline this game takes place. Still, the chance of this game taking place in the adult timeline is 50-50. After all, a lot of the kings in the Zelda games do look similar. Along with him being the King of Hyrule, there is another theory that he is Zelda's father. Now, just because there is a King of Hyrule in this game does not mean that he's Zelda's father. For example, in The Wind Waker, Princess Zelda's father isn't revealed to be the King of Hyrule, but it may very well be possible for them to be related, as they are of royal family descent. Heck, even the pirates are too. And in the beginning of the game, he doesn't have any lines, but in the Nintendo Switch trailer recently released, we hear someone say, "You must save her, my daughter." So while this does confirm we will see the King of Hyrule in this game, we're unsure if that voice belongs to the old man, as it could belong to anyone. Finally, the second most popular theory is that this old man is in fact Ganondorf. Now hear me out, but I think this is a very plausible theory that just might be true. Breath of the Wild's old man refuses to tell Link who he actually is. One of my first thoughts when I saw him was that he is Ganondorf. Like Ganondorf, Breath of the Wild's old man is tall, has gray skin, and has a big nose. Behind his nose, two defining characteristics of Ganondorf's face are his eyebrows, which majestically flow uninterrupted into his hairline, and the shiny jewel he always wears on his forehead. Breath of the Wild's old man wears a hood that obscures his eyebrows and his forehead. I think that the old man is likely Ganondorf because of what, not who, Breath of the Wild's villain is. Ever since A Link to the Past, the man, Ganondorf, and the demon beast, Ganon, have been two sides of the same coin. Breath of the Wild's villain is Ganon, specifically Calamity Ganon, a seemingly mindless, fiery force of evil, but not a person, that is sealed within Hyrule Castle. Link, the hero, and Zelda, the human form of the goddess Hylia, are destined to be reincarnated together when great threats are on their horizon. Ganondorf was introduced into this reincarnation cycle when Skyward Sword Link killed Demon King Demise. However, Demise promised that his hatred of the hero and Hylia would persist forever. Ganondorf is a manifestation of Demise's hatred. Like Link and Zelda, Ganondorf has a reincarnation cycle. However, in Zelda, a person can be separated from his reincarnation cycle, or in other words, their fate. For example, in Twilight Princess, the hero of time's ghost coexists with the current Link. With that said, I think that Ganondorf the man has been separated from Demon King Demise's hatred, which now exists in the form of Calamity Ganon. Considering the way Wind Waker ended, it could very well be possible that this is the same Ganondorf we have seen in Wind Waker, somehow cured of his petrification. Ganondorf in Wind Waker presented some level of redemption and selfless desire in the game, explaining that his desire for the Triforce was something spawned from the prosperity of Hyrule compared to the Gerudo Desert. Now, don't get me wrong, if this theory were true, it could be any Ganondorf from any of the games in the timeline. But if this was Wind Waker Ganondorf we're talking about, then that would mean he regrets the decisions that he has made following the events of Wind Waker, all the way down to the events of this game, Breath of the Wild. But keep in mind that this would only be true if Breath of the Wild took place in the adult timeline. But the chances for that happening aren't too high in my opinion, but it could very well be possible. But if this were Ganondorf, perhaps a change of heart has been placed in him, and that is why he chose to help Link. After Link causes the Great Plateau Tower to rise, the old man descends upon Link with his paraglider at the base of the tower. He greets Link and informs him that the Sheikah Towers across Hyrule simultaneously arose, and asks Link if he noticed anything peculiar while he was atop the tower. Upon hearing of the disembodied voice that was guiding Link, the old man points out the evil force surrounding the castle, declaring it the Calamity Ganon. He tells Link that 1 century prior, the Calamity Ganon brought destruction upon Hyrule until it was contained within Hyrule Castle. Warning Link of the possibility of Calamity Ganon's escape, he asks whether the young hero intends to confront it, and draws attention to the fact that leaving the Great Plateau is impossible without a paraglider. Upon Link asking for the paraglider, the old man directs him to the near Oman Au shrine, telling him that he would trade the paraglider in exchange for the treasure inside. Now, I find this a bit strange that he just doesn't give it to Link, but rather bargains with Link for something in exchange. That is most definitely something the King of Evil Ganondorf would do. Also, he knows a lot about Hyrule's history, such as the Temple of Time, and even offers to explain to Link the threat of Calamity Ganon. So he must be acting sincere unless he has a secret agenda. After all, for some strange reason, he seems to want the treasure inside the shrines, which are the orbs. Also, I doubt that just anyone in Hyrule will know what's going on in Hyrule Castle. I think that only people who are of royal family descent or play a huge role in the game will know Calamity Ganon's existence or what happened in Hyrule Castle itself. If you have played through the game of Ocarina of Time, how many people do you hear in Kakariko Village mentioning Ganondorf's triumphal victory over Hyrule Castle? Not a lot, obviously. The only people in that game that have a lot of knowledge about Ganondorf are obviously the Gerudos, and the Sages of course, as they have a huge role in sealing him. Another theory I came up with is that Ganondorf in this game, if he is the old man, might be manipulating Link. For example, in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Ganondorf knew there was something important and strange about Link, so he chose not to kill him, and of course, knew that he held the keys to the Sacred Realm, where the Triforce was hidden. Since Link was able to open the Door of Time, that allowed Ganondorf to get the Triforce of Power, while Link was asleep for 7 years, and no one standing in his way, with the Princess Zelda somewhere else in Hyrule. So with that said, what if the old man, who might be Ganondorf, is manipulating Link? It would make total sense why he wouldn't tell his backstory and who he is when he first meets him, as well as being really nice to him and being helpful and always finding Link on his adventure. He could even be the right-hand man to Ganon, such as in past Zelda games like Zant or Yuga. If this game is a post-Ocarina of Time installment placed in the Downfall timeline, then Ganondorf and Calamity Ganon could have been splitted 100 years ago when Calamity Ganon has been sealed. Then the old man, who looks a bit like a Gerudo, would be the Gerudo part of Ganondorf, free from Demise's hatred that is now Calamity Ganon. This explains why this entity is named Calamity Ganon and not simply Ganon, as it always has been. Then in that sense, Breath of the Wild might take place in the Downfall timeline, to where we might play the fallen hero of time from Ocarina of Time, resurrected by the Sheikah technology. But I'm not going to talk too much about where the timeline is in this game, as I have already made 2 theories on them recently. But personally, I would love to believe that this old man has no secret intentions of betraying Link. Just imagine if he was a past Ganondorf trying to make up for his sins and crimes against Hyrule. That would mean that Link, Ganondorf, and Zelda team up to defeat the evil hatred of Demise and destroy his long-lasting curse once and for all, ending the occasional Zelda formula. While this may sound like a bad idea, I think it's terrific. Imagine new threats encasing Hyrule and new adventures. Majora's Mask is one of the most beloved Zelda games, and Ganondorf has absolutely nothing to do with the game. He isn't even mentioned in the game at all. It would be something Nintendo has never done, and it would also be a callback to Skyward Sword, where Link, Zelda, and Gross fight against evil. Still, if all of this happening were the case, then it would make perfect sense for this game to take place at the end of any timeline. Not only that, but it's interesting to see if this time travel mechanic will somehow have to do with stopping Demise once and for all. The purpose of time traveling in the past, after all, is to prevent something drastic and life-threatening from ever occurring. In this case, Calamity Ganon could very well be the reason, But I'm hoping its demise is cycle, as that will make for an interesting theory for the series as a whole. In conclusion, I believe that this old man could be Ganondorf, Zelda's father, or someone else important to the game. But I may be wrong. He could just be a continuation of the old man that Nintendo has always been using since the first Zelda game. Hey everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Currently, as of today, I have the flu, so I'm glad I got this recording done before drafting it. But yes guys, I have more theories coming up soon and a new series that I know you guys are gonna love. It's currently 5 AM right now and I am very, very sleepy, but I have school in 2 hours, so I can't sleep for like 14 hours, so I'm gonna be really tired, so I'm scared because I might pass out during school. But yeah guys, it was worth to get this video out early, and hope you guys stay tuned, and guys, thank you so much for the support lately. Love you guys, hope you guys have a safe day, and take care. And Zelda Conqueror, signing out.